this kind of thing's got me stuck for months while I was figuring out how to train Sasha, how to help Sasha not be as scared of everything. But what I realised is there's only so many things you can control about the environment, about other people. So today, let's tell you a story, this might help you. We were up on the lane, you see it in my stories and a lot. We were up on the lane and there was a guy who I know and he has 3 dogs and they're lovely, and one of them actually is a Romanian rescue as well. So we always know to pass each other, you know, giving each other space, and that was absolutely fine. I got past and actually then heard the sounds of, you know, that the growls and the barks and you know that one dog or 2 were having a scuffle. So I turned round and there was another guy that had approached this man that I know with the 3 dogs. He had them on the lead, 3 dogs on a lead. One dog, a cockapoo, off the lead, had, as I turned round, it happened, had launched right at one of the little dogs that were on the lead. So we had 2 like kind of Jack Russell types and 1 Romanian rescue sheepdog, and was launching itself into this other dog. Now, I was a little bit, I was like, right, okay, I need to manage Sasha in the situation because she was on a long line and I just had to, I'd let her off on the long line just to, you know, because we'd got past the others. So I was like, right, okay, I haven't got a big time window, let's just reel her in, let's keep it short. Go over to the side again. There's a bit of space, so I'll stand by the wall, and she's got plenty of space, she's protected, she knows that she's safe. Anyway, instead of what you would do with a dog that's just attacked one dog, you would put it on a lead because maybe it's scared, I don't know, maybe it's aggressive. I don't know the history of the dog, but this would have had me absolutely just in bits at one point a couple of years ago, just to let you know. So going back to the situation, just to paint the scene, I had got Sasha behind me and loosely holding her harness as well as a short lead so that I'm not conveying any panic through my body language, but I've got her, you know, if this dog does approach, I have got a barrier between the dog and Sasha, which actually, as it happens, was the absolute difference between this dog doing the same thing to Sasha as it had just done to this other dog. Fortunately, I had my leg in the way. All that I realised is that the man came towards and was shouting at the dog to come back, and obviously it wasn't going to come back. Let the dog attack Sasha, well, tried, because I could, as it happened, not kicking the dog, just sticking my leg out a little bit, made it so that the guy had enough time to grab it by its collar and move it, because it had already tried to go around my leg and bite Sasha. Now, just to give you some context, bringing you back, that would have absolutely floored me a couple of years ago, and especially with a reactive dog, because I wouldn't have known that would have caused Sasha a lot of stress, and a couple of years ago she would have launched back at the dog and they would have ended up in a scrap kind of thing, because she had to defend herself, you know, and I wouldn't have known to just keep her behind me and just keep her safe. And as it happened, we got out of the situation, the guy went past, I said, please could you put your dog on a lead because it's just attacked 2 dogs in 2 minutes. He actually gave me a mouthful. It was like, even 18 months ago would have probably had me crying because it's horrible. It's like, that is just no fairness in that. You know, you have let your dog attack 2 people. There was a pattern there. Put your dog on a lead, make it safe. But no, I wasn't having any of that. Anyway, the cutest thing was, now that Sasha knows she's safe with me, she looked up at me and she was like, I'm a good girl, Anna. So I was giving her treats. And we managed to just walk behind this guy on a long line, on probably about 2 metres of the 7.5 metres, quite happily. The dog had passed and it was far enough away not to be a threat, but goodness me. So if you're ever in that situation, I totally get where you're coming from. There's only so many things you can control. And for the rest of it, just try your best and try not to blame yourself or just soak it up, because you'll never stop that person from reacting in the same way. All I'm going to do now is just be aware of who he is and to know that that dog is not one to go near, and to mitigate as much as possible the next scenario happening. But yeah, obviously I wanted to share this just because it might help you. Just know that you're not alone, and these things do happen, and some of the things you just can't control. So have a good day, and just let me know in the comments if it's ever happened to you, that kind of thing.